Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Hannah. If you're new to my channel, hi, hello, how are you? I hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to my digital diary. And today I'm wanting to do something that hopefully turns into a series on this channel, which is called Books Before Bedtime. Basically, I'm going to be reviewing books for you guys before I go to bed. Okay, sorry about that. I had to switch angles and everything, but now we can finally get into our review. But basically, as I was saying, this is just going to be a little series that I'm going to start where I review some books that I have read in the past year to 6 months. And since it's January 2nd, technically, it's 12:46 a.m. But time is just a concept, I keep looking at the light. I should be looking at you. Sorry about that. Time is just a concept. But yeah, let's get started. So I want to say I do read a lot of dystopian and dystopian with a political undertone books, which, I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. But this is going to be a review, and I am going to give a little bit of spoilers, so I'll put a spoilers warning. But I will say my current read, and also if you see my pimple patches, as I told you, books before bed. Hello. Title card. But anyways, my current read is 1984 by George Orwell, and I'm liking it so far. It's a bit confusing, but I mean, what George Orwell book isn't a little bit confusing? You feel me? Anyways, let's get started. So, speaking of George Orwell, here's another George Orwell book. This is Animal Farm by George Orwell. It is my favorite book by far. My second favorite book. My first favorite book I also will review. But this book is such an amazing book, and it has such prevalent political tones that are so relevant to today's topics and life and the world around us. So I'll tell you a little bit about this book. So this book I read, I want to say October of last year, so 2025, October of 2025. I read it. So it's not the last 6 months, but also it is the last year. Oh my god, my eyes are so dry. Anyways, I annotated it, and I had an orange tab for character development, blue for hope and unity, pink for power and corruption. That's a red herring. Green for plot and plot twist, and purple, it's a quote from a Wendigoon video. Yes, I watch Wendigoon. No, I'm not part of the manosphere. Wendigoon, he is a supernatural / paranormal / conspiracy theory YouTuber, and he says, and remember kids, if somebody ever told you the government wouldn't do that, oh yes they would. And it was an audio that went very viral in 2020-21 on TikTok, so it stuck with me, and I was like, yeah, the government would do that. So I used that in my book tabbing. And then I have beige, which is the unfortunate truth, which is something that's it's gonna happen regardless. And then a darker shade of pink, which is just foreshadowing. I chose pastel colors just because the book cover is a pig and it's light pink. So I was like, we're gonna make it match. I'm gonna make it match regardless. And boy, is this book literally, I was engulfed in this book. I literally read it really quickly too, considering I usually stretch out my books, but I'll tell you what, there are I want to say 2 books that I've read so fast, and it is this book and the second book that I'll review. But a little overview, it talks about animals on a farm, duh, and the pigs go into power. Ha! What a coincidence. Crickets. Anyways, I annotated it, so let me do a quick flip through. Also, if I keep looking back, I'm looking at myself on my laptop, seeing how everything looks, and I want to say my setup is quite cozy and cute, so yay me. Also, you see my vision boards in the back? This is part of the vision board. But here's a flip through for you guys. Try not to spoil anything for y'all if you're planning to read it. I have to do influencer hands. But it's a great book. I had to do my influencer hands for you guys, but I love it, and it's so good. And here's a quote from the back. This is, I guess, somewhat of a spoiler, so spoiler. If you don't mind, then that's fine. I feel like everyone knows the spoiler of Animal Farm just because of how popular it's become in the media. And I'm just going to read these 2 pages. It's 140 and 141, which is literally the end of the book, where it goes, he only had one criticism, he said, to make Mr. Pilkington's excellent and neighborly speech. Mr. Pilkington had referred throughout to the Animal Farm. He could not, of course, know that for he, Napoleon, was only now for the first time announcing the name of Animal Farm had been abolished. Henceforth, the farm was to be known as the Manor Farm, which he believed was its correct and original name. Gentlemen, concluded Napoleon, I will give you the same toast as before, but from a different form. Fill your glasses to the brim, gentlemen. Here's my toast to the prosperity of the Manor Farm. We're going to skip a little bit. What was it that had altered the faces of the pigs? Clover's old dim eyes flitted from one face to another. Some of them had 5 chins, some had 4, some had 3. I have 2. But what was it that seemed to be melting and changing? The applause have come to the end. The company took up their cards and continued the game that had been interrupted, and the animals crept silently. But had they not gone 20 yards when they stopped short, an uproar of voices coming from the farmhouse. They rushed back and looked through the window again. Yes, a violent quarrel was in progress. There were shoutings, bangings on the table, sharp, suspicious glances, furious denials. The sources of the trouble appeared at that Napoleon and Mr. Pilkington had each played an ace of spades simultaneously. 12 voices were shouting in anger, and they were all alike, no question now. What had happened to the faces of the pigs? The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again. But it was impossible to say which was which. Bars. Pure cinema. Like, that is so well written. And that kind of hints back to the 10 Commandments, where it says, like, no animal shall drink alcohol, no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets, no animal shall. Yeah, here's the 7 Commandments. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. That's number 1. Number 2, whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. Number 3, no animal shall wear clothes. Number 4, no animal shall sleep in a bed. Number 5, no animal shall drink alcohol. Number 6, no animal shall kill another animal. Number 7, all animals are equal. And in the back, it says all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And I feel like this book is such a whistleblower. Like, it totally reflects common day society and what goes on in the world around us. I mean, how many people do we see a day living a life totally different than ours? Let's just look at the people online, flaunting off their Birkin bags and their expensive Rolls Royces, while there are people on this same earth struggling to find a meal. And let's not go to extreme cases such as the famine in Sudan and Palestine, or, Africa as a common referral point. Let's just go into the United States. Families barely being able to pay their own bills and put food on the table, while we have influencers doing luxurious hauls of $500,000 worth of clothes, makeup, shoes, luxury items, while the same group of people do not share a hint of their money for any organization or charity. Therefore, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And it's just such a deep book, and it has such prevalent themes throughout our entire history. And I just love that book. 10 out of 10. I always recommend it. And I've had friends that I've recommended it to be like, oh, I hated it when I read it in class. And I'm like, when you read a book in class, it takes away the beauty from the novel, like Fahrenheit 451, one of my favorite books. I hated it. I genuinely had hatred, like visceral anger towards it because of Miss Lopez, my 7th or 8th grade teacher. Did not like her. She would make me get on a talking limit because I spoke too much and said the answers. Meanwhile, the rest of the class was quiet. What type of system is that? Anyways, next book. As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. This book, favorite of all time. I feel like you guys can't see me. Like, I feel like I look weird. Let me scooch a little closer. As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, this book destroyed me. Some people are like, oh no, this book destroyed me. Oh no, this book was my absolute undoing. I actually had to get off social media for a little while after reading this. I read this in 2023, in November. And it was my alternative book because we were going to read Night by L.E.I. Wessel, which is a Holocaust story. And I had read it the year previously, so I wanted a new book to read. So I emailed my professor and I was like, give me a new book. And she was like, okay, as long as the lemon trees grow. And I was like, perfect. That was on my TBR anyways. So as long as the lemon trees grow. Oh my gosh. This book was my absolute emotional undoing. I annotated and read this book in one night. And like, let me do a flip through for you guys once more. Oof, there goes my annotation. Wait, like, I'm trying not to. I really hope you didn't see a spoiler. I really hope you didn't see a spoiler. But I also annotated this one. So here's my. I'm going to do my influencer hands. This was my index for this one. So the dark blue. Y'all couldn't hear a thing probably. So the dark blue is extreme sadness. The one under it is the reality of war, which is like this tealish color. The one under it, which is a robin egg blue, says Alhamdulillah / Deen. So I related it to my religion because this book is written by a Syrian Canadian author. This book takes place during Syria, in Syria during the Arab Spring, which is when Syria was revolting against its corrupt government. And yeah, so it talks about Selma Kasib, who is a pharmacy student. When the cries of freedom broke out in Syria, she still had her parents, her big brother, she still had her home and an average teenager's life. Now Selma volunteers at a hospital in Homs, helping the wounded who flood through the doors daily. This girl is 18 and is doing the job of a doctor. I'm 18 and I collect stickers. The difference of lives, bro. And then the one under that says good moments / cute moments because it does have a romance in it. This is what I want to say. People are so, like, they don't talk about this book often. I don't shut up about this book. This is my favorite book ever. I recommend it to everyone I know. And it has a romance in it. It's a halal Muslim romance. So for my Muslim girlies, this book is for you. And it is so good. It is so book. It absolutely undid me. I cried so much, but I did so good. And I literally wrote, because there's a death. Warning, there's a death. There's death, there's tears, there's sadness, there's everything you think. And bro, this happened, like I cried so hard, and it was only chapter 5. Chapter 5, and I was bawling my eyes out. Now, granted, I'm very empathic and I cry at everything. Yesterday I watched Miss Doubtfire, cried. Miss Doubtfire, and I sobbed. And then the one under it says poetic moments. The one under that says OMG. The one under that says sadness. And then the last one says mental issues / turmoil. Because in this movie, in this book, they talk about PTSD and depression and anxiety and so many topics that are so good. And I feel like this book is so prevalent because it was just so sweet, bro. And like it was just so sweet. And like they had a little, it was like a little bit of a romance, and I was like blushing and kicking my feet all over the place. But this is As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. It's written by Zolefa Keto. She is a Syrian Canadian that lives in Switzerland. Okay, we're gonna have to speed run this because my camera keeps like cutting out saying no storage, and then the mic keeps dying. So I'm gonna speed run this. But basically, instead of yapping about the author, this book is just really good. It talks about war and it gives you the Arab aspect, considering we've always seen the American aspect of war in the Middle East. But this one was about the Arab Spring. So the Arab Spring happened in the early 2000s. It was a revolution amongst the Syrian people against their government, which was extremely corrupt. It only recently ended in the year 2024-25, and it is so good. It has a bit of a romance in it. It's a Muslim author, so it has Muslim characters. And it is so good. It focuses on the casualties of war, from those who are fighting in the revolution to those who are just simple bystanders. It talks about the children, the women, the wives, the husbands, the families affected. And it is just so good. And I cried so many times. And I think that it is an absolutely undoing book. So if you really want something of substance to read, this is it. Like, it is so good. I don't see too many people talking about it besides like Muslim booktok like recommenders. So this is a really good book. I suggest everyone reads it because we often see the white perspective of war, but we've never seen the minority perspective. I think this is really good if you want to get information from both sides. The next book, this book, don't even get me started on this book actually. I went into it because this is my first horror book I've ever purchased. I've never really purchased horror. And I know about Hannibal Lecter because my friend's obsessed with Mads Mikkelsen. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. Let me see this Hannibal Lecter. And I know it's originally played by that one guy from Law and Order, so I do know my facts. Let me tell you this. This book is, I keep checking, sorry. This book is Silence of the Lambs. This book is so disgustingly obvious on it that it's written by a man. In my annotation strip, let me just give you a close up to see what I wrote for y'all to annotate, if you want to annotate it yourself. At the bottom, it says creeps or icky. Creeps are icky indeed. The amount of the heebie-jeebies I got reading this as a woman, not as like, oh my god, I don't want to be eaten by cannibal. No, I would actually take that fate over being in any prison cell with any of the men in this book. Matter of fact. Yeah, let me oil up and I'll be ready for you to eat. Because why was some of it so disgusting? Like on chapter 2, it literally says, oh, I've had detectives before. We've had a lot of detectives, but I can't remember one so attractive, Chilton said without getting up. This is page number 7. Page number 7, and he's already objectifying her. And they won't shut up about the fact that she's a female detective, a female FBI agent, a female FBI agent. We get it! Move on. Because there are so many things about this. Like, they literally go on to describe a girl's chest because she's, like, on the bigger side. He describes it for, like, a couple pages long. Yeah, it literally says, like, feels their weight and resilience. Disgusting. Prison for you, your Uber driver, everyone. Like, it does the job of being creepy, and I think I like the psychology of it all, but for the fact you spend like how many pages focusing on the women? Yeah, wrap it up. You can tell that this book is written by a man. It gives me the ick. I just, like, what a disturbed man. Like, yes, it's well written, but why are you describing the women with such detail? And I get it. It's like from the serial killer's perspective or whatever. But yeah, no, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Overall, it was good. I liked it. I do feel like it's a great, like, kind of mystery, horror, thriller, creepy novel. But, like, tone it down with the objectification of women. Like, I get it. You're supposed to be a serial killer killing women, but tone it down, buddy. Tone it down, little boy. I keep looking back to make sure the camera's still on, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the end of my book review. I'm so sorry I couldn't get to my other books. I gotta figure out how I can record my videos without having to worry about the camera randomly shutting off. But thank you guys so much for joining me on my yap session that was extremely incessant, and thank you guys for spending so much time with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this becomes like a series where I like review books, movies, and music and whatnot. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm ever so grateful. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment on what book I should read, what I could do to change up my reviews, your own personal thoughts on these books. And until the next time, this is the end of this diary entry. Thank you guys so much, and good night.